What's up, guys? I just got out of seeing Chris Struckman's directorial debut, Shelby. Now, I feel like there's been some really good directorial debuts these last couple years. Like the most notable one I can think of, in my opinion, like this is one of the directorial debuts that I can think of. It's the B.J. Novak movie he did that had Austin Kutcher in it. That's one of the more recent directorial debuts that I can remember. But there's been a couple other ones that I quite can't remember that have been really good. And then there's been ones that weren't so great, like M. Night Shyamalan released a movie that didn't do all that well, wasn't reviewed all that well, wasn't all that great. So I feel like even though there's been some, and I'm sure more people can name better ones than me these last 5-6 years, there's been some really good, notable directorial debuts, but making a good or decent first movie is a very hard thing to do. So don't take it lightly to say that Chris Struckman made a really good movie that I'm sure as we get to sit on and watch it again and watch it some more and really get to like go over it some more and think about it some more. And I'm sure we're going to have our critiques of it. One of my most notable, I think the easiest critique you can give of this movie is I don't know if that was a real dog, that hellhound in the first and second act. Was that a real dog that they like put effects on afterwards, or was that total CGI? Like, I want to know what was going on with that first hellhound, or was he going for that? Like, I felt like that looked a little wonky, and like it took away from the jump scare for me. Like, it was a good jump scare, but then I looked at it and I got to look at it for more than it was in my brain for more than 3 seconds. Like, that did not look that good. that quality of that didn't look that good. But when you go to the third act, the dogs in the third act, in that scene towards the end or the very end, those dogs looked really good. That didn't look funky at all. Didn't look wonky. So that's like my first like critique of the movie. Second critique is, it felt like once we got to the third act and we're like going along point to point, I'm always skeptical when movies do the point thing, because most of the times they don't do anything out of the ordinary that you would expect. And I think something Chris did here was, like, we were going point to point, and then we got to the twist, and then we got to the big reveal, and I think that really helped out, because it's like, are we really about to go point to point, then go back, like, it's like, whoa. So the other performances from everyone other than the main character of Mia were really good too. Keith David, he was in the movie 2 minutes, but you could see how shaken up he was from, like, I think he really helped sell. I think Keith David's character really helped sell the unsettlingness of the character of Miles, who we get to learn more about. I think he really helped sell that, and this little tidbit about him, Cell 37, all that stuff, that really stuck with me. Just like the way that Chris was building this movie up, like, it was becoming like more and more unsettling to a point where it's like, to like, if you like really look at this stuff, man, like, you can understand why maybe even like, you know what I mean? It was just unsettling. Like, everything about it was unsettling. Even everything surrounding it was a bit unsettling, and I like that feeling. That's a good feeling to have in a horror movie. Like, you want your audience to be scared. You want your audience to be unsettled. And another thing that I think Chris did is, I think a lot of horror movies nowadays, even back then, didn't do a whole lot of, is there were points where, like, the character didn't see anything, but you could, like, tell it was clear that he wanted us to see some things. He wanted us to see things moving. He wanted us to notice that. Like, not a lot of the times horror movies won't let you notice something until the character notices it too, and that can take away from you as an audience member getting to be scared of stuff as well, and get to be a little bit scared. You know what I mean? So there were points where you got to see stuff before the characters had got to see stuff, and I think that was really cool of Chris to leave that stuff in there for us. I don't know if he was going for it more than the one time that I noticed, I noticed it once, maybe twice. I wonder, I don't know how many times he was trying to go for that, but I definitely, like, I think the one time that we can all think of where it was obvious, where it's like, man, that was a really good thing. Yeah. The big twist, like, I think, like, the way this movie looks amazing, by the way, like, and then, like, the found footage part into, like, the credits rolling, like I legitimately thought that was gonna be like another, like, oh, they're making a I don't know. I thought that was gonna be like, okay, when the dude did it, boom. I thought that was gonna be like, okay, then they're gonna make like some lifetime movie about it. And then I saw Keith David's name popped up. I don't know. That's a little embarrassing me, but until Keith David's name popped up in those like second credits, that's when I realized, oh wait, this is like Crystal in the actual credits, and the movie's like supposed to actually start. Yeah. The performance of the girl who played Riley was really good. I'm not even gonna pretend I know any of these actors' name other than Keith David. I'm not even gonna try to pretend I know anyone else's name other than Keith David. I'm just going by character names. But the performance by the girl that played Riley, like, she had the perfect look for what they were going for. She looks like, if you watch Twitch and you watch GTARP from olden days, now, if you know a streamer named Soda Kite who plays a girl named Ellie, that's who Riley kind of looks like. If you watch GTRP, you know who I'm talking about. But Riley looks a whole lot like her. I don't know if there's a relation there or whatever. Maybe there is. And yeah, man, this is a really, really good directorial debut, and I'm very excited to see what he can get on next. I know people don't like to talk about money. I know Neon was very helpful and gave him a lot of money. Well, I'm not gonna say give him a lot, but they gave him what he needed, and sometimes that's more than enough. Giving someone what they need. And I was checking all week, seeing how the showings were gonna look. When I walked in, when I checked at 5:30, I was the only one who bought a ticket. By the time it was around 5:50, 5:55, there was 3 other people in there. So some people bought some tickets, but I don't know what the expectation is for this. I'm gonna be completely fucking honest with you. I haven't seen a goddamn commercial for this movie at all. I just know this movie. I just been waiting. You know what I mean? Because I've just been waiting. So I was always on the lookout for it. But other than that, I haven't seen a fucking commercial for it. I haven't seen a whole lot of chatter for it. I just don't know how they're trying to reach out. But I think with Neon, if that's something you should worry about, you know, if people love it the way I love it, he's probably going to get another chance to make another really good movie and get another one of his visions out there. So yeah, Shelby Oaks, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, like the point stuff, that can get really, like, I think since this movie wasn't so long, you know, that stuff can always like drag your movie down. And some of the effects weren't all that, you know, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, Shelby Oaks, 8.5 out of 10. Peace.